All right, first up today we have the Drake Vulture. I should have expected this one hitting. Uh, it hits very often in the CCU game, and it's a $10 discount. Best option, Prospector. Prospector to Vulture. This all roads lead through the Prospector, and it jumps straight into the Vulture. There's other options at this price point if you've been playing for a while, but this is a pretty good link in most chains. 10 for 10, not super great for the actual value, but hey, we'll take it where we can get it at this point. So yes, this is the one I'm going to recommend for the Vulture. Next up, we actually have the Clipper. Now, I'm a little torn on how I want to feel about this because it's a $150 ship. I haven't flown it yet. I'm hoping to rent it as soon as I'm done making this video and get some insider thoughts about it. But the Clipper at 150, I'm not sure that this ship is actually more capable than a Cuddy Black. Now, it's got beds, it's got a full bathroom from what I could tell in the videos I've seen. It's way smaller. I saw it in the showroom floor. It's a very small and compact ship. It's very cool. It's new pipeline, all that good stuff. I'm not sure that this is a more capable ship than the Cuddy Black, though. It's more aligned with something like the Nomad, right? It is way more capable in combat, I'm guessing. A little bit more firepower than the Nomad. The same amount of firepower for the pilot as the Cuddy Black, but if you add a co-pilot in the Cuddy Black, obviously it's more. I'm not sure about this 150 price point. So the the $15 discount does in fact help this. So this is it's a hell of a discount regardless. So let's get into just the Warbond CCU, and maybe I'll hold my praise or disdain for the ship at 150 for later. So $15 discount here. And we've got a pretty good selection with the C1. Again, you could do the Raft, but remember the Raft is raising in price, and it doesn't hit quite as often as a C1. And both of these manufacturers still have a day left in IAE, so we'll see what brings for both of them. We'll see. I'm still going to go with the C1 on this one, mainly because of the Raft's price increase. Remember, Mark 1s, do not use these unless you really know what you're doing and you already have a CCU chain link to the Mark 1, because you can't get there if you don't already have it. They took it out of the store. 350R is just not a great choice because it doesn't hit that often. C1 and Raft make much better choices than anything else up here, and I would lean towards a C1 because the Raft is going to get an increase in price. If, however, the Raft has a Warbond CCU this round in a couple days, then that'll make a great choice. So you're going to have to weigh your options here. The Raft price will not increase until after this IAE, and it did make best in show, so I say it's at least likely it'll hit the Warbond CCU, but if it doesn't, then you're going to have to rely on already having a Raft Warbond. Otherwise, that price is going to increase to a point that the value for this piece, this link specifically, is going to go away. So it's the safer bet is going to be the C1. Unless you already have it. Look, if you already have one of these, don't listen to what I'm saying. Buy what fits your chain, okay? I was asked about this recently, and I'm like, well, yeah, if you already have something like a C1, like a Cuddy Black to a C1, for instance, then don't buy the Raft to get to the Clipper. If you haven't used that in a chain, just use that. Like that's the whole purpose here. We're not thinking of these links in our chains as individual purchases that get us to the ship we care about. We're talking about the long game of getting a broad-based discount across each link in your chain to whatever final ship you're trying to achieve. So neither one of these are effectively important. And if you already have a link to the Raft, then you can just grab the Raft to the Clipper now. You lock in the $10 spend for a $15 discount. And if you're going beyond the Clipper, it doesn't much matter if the price of the Raft increases because you've locked in the value play, right? Now, there may be a better one later on, but right now, this is how you would make that link in the chain to the next latest and greatest ship. So Think about it that way. Long term, not right now, not what could happen in the future, but hey, if you're going to complete the chain, it doesn't much matter because you're going to pay more to get to the raft in the future, if that makes sense, right? So right now, these are equal. As soon as the raft increases in price, they're still equal. However, we don't know what the raft price increase will be. So if the raft goes to $140, you're paying 10 for 10 still. If it goes to 145, you're paying $10 for a $5 increase, which makes it a terrible value, right? And then you also, if you don't have a CCU to the raft, you're going to have to figure out how to get to a $125 price point of a raft from the next lower thing, which would be something like a Freelancer or Cuddy Black, maybe. With a Warbond, I think if it goes to 140, that might make sense, right? You'd probably be at the Freelancer or Cuddy Black to that raft at that point. If it went to Warbond, right? There's no guarantee that they're going to hit a Warbond when they increase the price. It tends to happen, but there's no guarantee. So again, the safe play here, again, I'm still going to recommend the C1, but you could speculate to say, hey, raft is best in show. I'm going to bet on the raft hitting a Warbond on the Argo day and just go with that. And long term, like I said, it's still $10 out of pocket. It's not much going to matter as long as you already have a CCU to the raft, or you're going to, again, bet on it hitting this IAE. So that's it for new Warbonds. We still have the Perseus, we still have the Paladin, and we still have the Shiv, and we still have the Stinger. So all of those are still in the store. It appears they're going to continue throughout IAE. My guess is they will not remove them until the end. But today we got two total? Yeah, we got two total. One because of a new ship offering, and then one because of the Drake Day, we got the Vulture. Also keep in mind that as different manufacturers have their day, their concept ships are released. I think I went over this with the G12 yesterday, but the Ironclad Assault and the Ironclad are now available. If you want to speculate on these with some pretty good discounts, my guess is this will be a $600 ship. At this price point, it could be a $635 ship based on what we saw with the Perseus. We'll see, guys. Maybe it'll be a $75 increase, but this $15 now for no discount, right? There's no discount here. This is not a Warbond. So you're paying $15 maybe with store credit, but the price of this will increase, so you might get $75 value play out of $15. That's pretty good. If you're going beyond the Ironclad Assault, or if you're going to the Ironclad Assault, of course, right? The Ironclad as well. Where's the Ironclad? Down here at 450. So think about using both of those either speculative to something much higher price like the Orion, maybe the Perseus. Actually, I should be looking on this side. This will give a more in-depth, more comprehensive list of ships, right? So if we're looking at the Ironclad and Ironclad Assault, so we're at 450. This will at least go to 500, maybe 550, maybe $100 jump for the Ironclad. I could see an Ironclad Assault jumping $100. I'm not sure about a full $100 leap for the Ironclad. Let's say 50 to 75 for this, and count on 100 for the Assault. So you'd be looking for anything at $640 or more. Right, so 645, you can't CCU to the Expedition, Carrack. Sorry, you won't be able to CCU to the Carrack Expedition with C8X. That's a special edition. Can't get there. You could get here, but I think the Ironclad Assault's going to be more than 625. I really do. That might frustrate Carrack owners to say, why is the Ironclad Assault more worth more than my Carrack? But the reality is, the Carrack is an old ship that has old pricing, and eventually I'm guessing this is going to go up based on the functionality of the Carrack. But anyway, let's assume $100, so $640 is going to be the base that you're going to be looking at. So the Orion, again, it's a concept, 650 Merchantman. These are all, every single one of these until you get to the Hammerhead, 725. Whew. Yeah, so if you're going to go to the Hammerhead, A2, Perseus, if you're looking for a Perseus chain, I would grab an Ironclad Assault for sure, right? So if we go this, let's do the Perseus, $100 discount. Ooh, we're looking at Carrick, aren't we? Right now, but that's $100. So if you have the old one, you're way better off. But again, if you're looking for a Perseus now, I would bank on the Ironclad Assault. Again, if you're building a chain for the first time, you know you want the Perseus because you flew it in the free fly, and you're like, hey, I got to build something to get there, but I can't spend $800 on this game for whatever reason. Then I would try and build the Ironclad Assault in. I would probably, can you do something with the Arastra too? Probably not. You'd have to do some really serious speculation on a bunch of different concept vehicles, folks. It's tough getting to the Perseus now because there's a lot of concept in the way. That would be rough. If somebody wants me to run through that, let me know in the comments, because that's going to be a really in-depth analysis to get to the Perseus now with having 0 Warbonds. You'd have to really stock up for the next 2 years. You'd have to really hold on to that stuff. But there's a lot of concept vehicles that could get you there, right? But you're paying, you'd be paying a lot for it. You'd probably still be at $500 is my guess if you started today. Still a discount, right? But you're still gonna spend $400 or $500 is my guess. I got a request from a viewer, and they wanted me to take a look at the chain that they had built. I just got a screenshot here, and I'm going to walk through it as best I can, but I'm confused by a couple things. So, like Cuddy Black here is not $100, it's $110. So I'm wondering if he hasn't updated the CCU game app or something in a while, or if this is just a really old screenshot or what. And there's a couple of, looks like store credit non-warbonds here. So I'm going to go through this starting with the Atlas Geo as an LTI token. That's a pretty stellar token there. $5 discount right off the bat. You're only spending $40. That's good. Starting there, most of the stuff here, between here and his first warbond, which is down here, which is Gladius to Storm AA, which is a $5 discount, most of this stuff is unnecessary. The way to play from this LTI token to the Gladius basically is to hope that the Gladius gets a warbond and then build off of that. So I would stick with the Gladius as this warbond piece here. Don't disrupt that. But in between, I would play a long game with the G12s because he's going all the way to a Corsair, right? Corsair, he looks like he got Corsair Terrapin to Corsair and MR to Terrapin. Solid. He can also do a store purchase of the Zeus MR concept pricing right now. So the Zeus is available right now. Okay. So what you want to do, you want to get the Zeus MR over here and then go highest priced. Make sure this highest price is up here. All ships, right? And then look at what your options are. Obviously, he's shown what he has, so he doesn't have any of the sabers that went on sale. It may be a good bet that one of these Mark IIs will hit again, but Tracker and Ghost were less likely than Super Hornets in the past. Obviously, don't use the Mark I. Freelancer Miss, no bueno. Cartual, good luck. Cuddy Blue. And we're also down $10. Whew. Again, starting the game now, because if we look back at his picture, that he doesn't have a lot of warbonds already purchased. So assuming just these few that he's got, probably, so the Storm AA was this year. So it looks like he's just been playing this year. And that, again, I'm trying to make some assumptions about this, right? This is a non-warbond. So anything that's green over here is a warbond. So these are good calls. So he's just been playing for about a year is my guess. Playing the CCU game anyway. Shiv, good call. And C1 is a good choice there. Terrapin to Corsair, MR. So you should buy the Zeus MR. Yeah, you should buy this now. And the reason is the Zeus MR is going to increase in price when it gets released. Could be Invictus next year. Don't know. I'm guessing the ship is effectively done, but they're probably adding some additional gameplay for this particular ship that's not quite in the game yet, but I'm guessing the ship is effectively complete. So this thing could release whenever they finish that other piece of gameplay. Could just be missions, who knows? So that's, I would grab this Zeus MR now. What else is there here? These are all 175. I mean, the Vulture's 175, right? I would probably just grab this. And then I would get the Vulture CCU as well. So the Vulture that's available today, I would grab for your chain, and I would get this. If you have store credit, and technically you do, you can sell this back to the store. You can sell this, let's see here. You can sell Avenger to Titan to Mustang Delta back to the store. Refund, not refund, but melt it, right? And then melt the Nomad to Warlock. I would melt those. Okay, that's $10 store credit. Anything up here that's not a Warbond that doesn't net you a big discount that you haven't already purchased, right? Like this one, this is still boggling my mind. This is a 110 ship, so I think this might be old. You got to update your CCU game app. And then you're going to want to grab a C1 Spirit. If the C1 Spirit hits again during IAE, snatch that up, right? And we're at the 175. Oh, you already have a Zeus MR for 175 to Terrapin? I'm confused. I'm confused about the dollar amounts here for your chain, because you can go from a $175. This Zeus MR is $195 ship. So definitely need to update your CCU game. But these still align, right? They still go linearly. And instead of SRV here, I would have a $15 non-Warbond concept price Vulture to Zeus MR. And then I would snatch up a Vulture CCU as well. So this Vulture, for a $10 discount here to the Prospector, grab this today because it's available, and hope the Prospector comes back as well. What else did you have in the chain here? Yeah, this something to the Prospector. Shiv to Prospector. Is Prospector in? Prospector's in. Okay, so we can look. Yeah. So yeah, Shiv to 5. Shiv to Prospector, $5. Good call. Store credit or not at this point, that's a good one. And then you have C1 to Shiv, right? You got this, and then you went C1. That is a good call as well. So now you're going to hope that the C1 hits Warbond as well. So the last C1 was a $10, $10, $10, $10. These are all $10. There are a couple 15s, but he's been playing this year. So $10 discount, which makes it a 115. If you have that Storm A, right, you have a Storm AAA, AA right here. So if you have that, then go Storm AA to the C1, right? Because this is not a Warbond. You can sell this back. Don't buy these until you need to fill those gaps later on down the road. The only time you would buy a non-Warbond gap filler is if you're doing speculation, like I recommended down here with the G12s. I would get something like Atlas Geo. What's Atlas Geo to G12? Let's go look at that. So G12. This is the cheapest one at $60. Let's do the standard. So here's the Atlas Geo, $15. I would probably grab this today, or at least during IAE, because it's available, and bank on this going up to at least $70. I'm guessing 70. And then from 70, you can start mapping out some hopium again to what's a $70 ship over here? To the Sulin, maybe. 325A's unlikely. Sulin's kind of unlikely. Tana, Arrow, maybe. Maybe they'll hit the Arrow again. Or I know the Cyclone MT had one. These are all just rare. I think you might just need to gap fill from here to something like whatever ends your your C1, right? Or the Storm AA, right? You have the Storm AA somewhere. So the Storm AA is $100. Next best bet below that is going to be something like, yeah, maybe the Gladius or something crazy. So you'll have some gap fills down there, but I would speculate on the G12s for sure for your chain. I would sell back any of these that aren't speculative non-Warbonds that you've purchased, like the Cuddy Black to Talon, like the Nomad to Warlock, and the Titan to Delta. That's what I would do. And then I would gap fill the Geo to one of the G12s, probably the base G12, for $15 and hold, right? And then down here, you've got the C1 to Shiv. Hope for the C1 on Crusader Day. Then you could buy this gap fill right now just to lock it in. That would be okay, because you know you're going to have it. Period. Then Prospector to not the SRV, but instead, again, these prices are all off, so don't pay attention to these. So I would go Prospector to Vulture today. It's available in the store as a Warbond. Grab that, and then do a Vulture to Zeus MR non-Warbond CCU right now because it's available. It's in its concept phase. It hasn't raised in price. I would do that today. Then you have the rest of this chain mapped out, and you're good to go. And then the only thing left you have is a couple gap fills from basically the C1 to the Storm AA. So if the C1 hits, you can do that Warbond right there. That kills that out. And then you've got basically from the store AA at $100 down to the Atlas Geo to gap fill. And you may be able to do that with speculation in the with the G12s. That's what I would do. And hopefully you get some decent discount out of it, man. So I don't know if this was just, fate tossing me a funny hand or if this was intentional punking me. But I did, in fact, get a referral, and y'all done did it to me, didn't you? Yeah, I got one, and I'm thrilled but unthrilled at the same time. Anyway, thank you for the referrals. Appreciate it. And I'm sure going to do something ridiculous with this thing in the future. It's only 10 years, so I don't know if I'm going to build it into a chain, but we'll see. Maybe I'll just buy a paint or something for it. Thanks, guys. That's it for me this time. Zi-Tek, out.